Hi everyone, it's Keely here for Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for today's soap making video. Today is another one of my Patreon design ideas, and for this month I asked them to give me suggestions for techniques that they'd like to see me demonstrate in a soap over here on YouTube. And we had lots of different suggestions, but the one that I drew out of the soapy jug came from Inès, and she suggested that I do an In-the-Pot Faux funnel pour, which I love doing if you've seen some of my gemstone soaps, but instead of pouring it into my normal loaf mold, could I pour it into a PVC pipe instead? So that is what we're going to do today. Now Inès actually doesn't have her own cosmetic or soap making business, but she does run a blog called the Soul Traveler Journal, so I will leave links to her blogspot and her Facebook account down in the description box so you can go and check out what she actually does. But for now we're going to see how my autumn leaves soap turned out using her suggestion for the In-the-Pot Faux funnel pour inside a PVC mold. Let's go. Okay, so let's get started with this soap. We are down to room temperature. It is a lovely cool morning as well, so hopefully all goes well. Today I am using this fragrance oil from Aussie Soap Supplies, which they sent through to me, called Autumn Fig Harvest. It's got notes of apple, fig, berry, candied orange, nougat. There's also some cinnamon, pine, orange and blossom, and at its base it's got coffee, autumn leaves and wood. It is described as being fruity, but I get a lot more of that sort of woodiness come through, and it's got this certain smokiness to it, almost like there's a bit of vetiver, but there actually isn't listed on here. It is a really nice fragrance. I think it's going to be perfect for autumn. It does say it has 0% vanillin, but when I've poured it out, it is quite dark. Now that could be some of the sort of coffee and cinnamon notes coming through that are making this one a dark colour, but I am going to keep to some real autumn colours on this one, so I'm not too worried about how dark that one is. And the reason I'm doing an autumn soap is because down here in Australia we have officially gone into autumn. We do our seasons a little bit differently down here. We always change it on the first of the month every 3 months, so we're usually a little bit ahead of when the rest of the sort of hemisphere changes their seasons. So by the time everyone is ready to actually officially change seasons according to the phases of the moon, it should be, this soap should be ready, and we should well and truly be in autumn, and it is such a beautiful autumn fragrance. I've just poured my lye solution in here, so I'm going to give it a quick mix and then we're going to split it up for some autumn colours. Okay, so that has come together nicely. It is still nice and fluid. Hopefully this is a good sign. Let's get that bowl all cleaned down and grab our colours in. So as I said, I'm going to be using some very autumn colours today. I have got some Tangelo, I have some Elusive, and then I also have some Mocha, and these are all from my Micro Obsession, and I'm just going to split this soap batter out between these 3 jugs evenly. Okay, so here's the bit where we hold our breath and see what actually happens. Let's divide this fragrance oil between the 3 of them, and then I'm going to hand stir it in. Okay, so we've got all of our colours mixed in. It is looking and behaving wonderfully. And what I'm going to do now is pour each of my colours back into this main jug, into the middle, and I'm just going to alternate between them and pour them one into the another, almost like I've got a funnel sitting on the top of here. And those colours are stunning. Now, I did say when I first described that fragrance that it was described as being fruity, but I wasn't getting those sort of fruity notes out of it. I was getting more of the woody tones. There's a little bit of smokiness in there as well. As soon as this fragrance hit that soap batter, oh my goodness, I got smacked in the face with the smell of fig and apple, and it really then did take on a fruity sort of appearance. Oh, it's really, really nice. When it does come back in stock over on the Aussie Soap Supplies page, I do recommend going to get yourself some. Let's get all of this out of here. I really don't need to save any, so let's scrape these jugs clean. It does say on the website that there is slight acceleration. I think they've been just really overcautious because of how many problems we were having with those original ones, because this certainly is not accelerating on me. It is behaving oh so well, so we should get some beautiful swirls out of this. Alright, so now that we've got all of those colours poured in there, let's get our column mould. So what I've got on the end of my PVC pipe, I have got a end cap which I've made from off Wickedly. If you're watching over on the Instagram page, I actually posted this, I thought, rather cool picture. I was messing around and I picked the pipe up and I looked down it out through the window and it made this awesome pattern inside the tube. So I did post a picture of that over on the Instagram page. If you do follow along over there, you would have seen it. If not, go and check us out over there. I am pouring all of this in, and look, I have calculated it right. By the time we get this last little bit gently scooped out of here so it's not too muddied. My pipes are actually 45 centimeters long and my molds are only, well, my current molds are only 43. I'm really excited. I finally treated myself to some new loaf molds. I am waiting for them to come in from Nurture Soap. I've ordered myself the 5-pound molds there, so I'm looking forward to them coming in. That has filled up perfectly. I've got a little bit left over in here that I'm going to be able to scrape out, make a couple of little soaps. But I am really happy, looking forward to getting this one unmolded, getting it into the main soap, and then we'll see what sort of design we get from this. Okay, so this has been sitting in the mold for a couple of days because I did this on a Saturday and I've had markets on Sunday. I'm gonna just take the end cap off nice and easy. I'm just gonna push on the end and out it comes. Give that, oh gosh, that smells really good. Again, I've got that real fruity smell come out of it. I'm gonna get that one unwrapped. Oh wow, this smells so good. Those colours are looking beautiful as well. Let's get that one completely rolled off this paper. That's it. And let's get it all trimmed up, ready for the mould. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, I've got my single bar cutter here, because what I want to do is cut off the melt and pour from off the end of this soap. And what I can say about this fragrance, when I poured it, I said that I smelt apple and fig as soon as it hit that soap, but it smelt really woody out of the bottle. Now what I'm getting is that really strong apple smell, and it really is very nice. I won't be mean, I will show you what this one is looking like so far. So that is the little end piece. Oh, there's the camera. I've got the camera up a lot higher, so I'm a little bit out of balance of where the actual lens is there. I am liking how that is looking. It has got that really swirly sort of effect in there. Hopefully as we get further along this sort of loaf, when we go to cut the actual big soap, we'll get some more of the orange coming out. Just going to move that back just a little bit. I'm going to grab my soap here. Alright, so my mould is about 43 centimeters long, so I've got my tape measure here. I'm just going to mark at 43, and then I'm going to cut this other end off, and then I am going to go and get all of the soaping oils together, and we are going to actually embed this into a mold, because I do find that having regular rectangular soaps sell much better for me than round soaps do. So now that I've got all that ready, I am going to go and get the mold, and we're going to get this in. Alright, so let's get on with popping our embed into our main soap. I have poured out this fragrance oil again, and you know, the embed smells so strong of apples and berries and really sweet and fruity, and yet this fragrance oil like this, I get that cinnamon come through. I'm getting real woody tones come through as well. Definitely not getting all the berries as it is like that. I'm thinking I will actually also make a little candle with it to see how it actually burns, to see whether it changes in candles. It definitely changes in soap. So if you've had this fragrance oil, this Autumn Fig Harvest from off of Aussie Soap Supplies, and you've not liked it in the bottle, soap with it, because it is completely different once it hits the soap. What I've got is some more oils in here. We're going to pour in our sodium hydroxide and distilled water solution. Going to mix it up. I'm going to split it out for a little bit of white and some blue. So I've got that mixed together. So for the white, I've used the titanium dioxide, which has been dispersed in some water. And for my blue, I have got some Klein Blue from off of Nurture Soap. It just looks so pretty when I was ordering it. And I think this is the perfect sort of autumn blue color for this soap. So we're gonna get our fragrance in here. I am gonna put it in the white. It says 0 vanillin. If it goes cream, that's not a bad thing either. Let's get these mixed in. The sort of idea I am going for with this soap is a very autumn feel, and the idea with the embed is I'm hoping it's going to look like a whole heap of autumn leaves swirling about on the ground. Now that's not really something we get to experience much in parts of Australia. There are parts, usually down south where it's a little bit cooler, that do get those beautiful autumn leaf colours. You know, the sort of oranges, the browns, the ambers and all that sort of thing. But where I'm from here in sort of southeast Queensland, we don't get those sort of real autumnal coloured leaves, and we certainly don't get those really nice crunchy ones where you can go jumping through them and crunching leaves under your feet. But I do remember it as a child. I remember having all the leaves raked up and then being able to bounce in them, watching the leaves swirl around in the wind as well. And that was kind of going for a very nostalgic sort of feel with this soap, of running through all those swirling leaves. And that is what I want the embed to actually represent, is leaves swirling together. And then this blue, because we get beautiful autumns here where we are, and they're a little bit cooler. They're not at the moment, but the days are usually a little bit cooler, and you get these brilliant blue skies, and everything sort of around here is nice sort of colours. It's just, autumn here is actually really quite nice when we do get a bit of autumn. We don't get a lot of it in the Queensland sort of area. We usually get a couple of weeks and then it hits us into winter, and then we go back for a couple of weeks of spring, and then we have a long summer. Just going to do an in the pot swirl with this, because I kind of want it also this blue, which is representing those sort of beautiful blue skies that we get, and we get those wisps of cloud as well. So that's what I want my white drop swirl to kind of represent. Alright, we've got all of that out. Let's grab our mould, and of course this is playing really, really nicely, unlike some of the soaps I've made. Well, I want this one to thicken up a little bit more to put our embed, but that is how soap seems to behave. I'm going to start by pouring a good amount of this into the bottom, like so. And then we're going to grab our embed. Now I left it wrapped up in the paper so that it didn't dry out on me, and I've cut it just right, so I'm just going to gently place that down. I think it's going to sink right to the bottom because it is heavy and my soap's not quite thick enough, but that's okay. Let's finish pouring the rest of this on here. Oh, that's looking so pretty. That is looking gorgeous so far, but I'm not finished. I have got some embeds to go on here. Look at all those beautiful autumn leaves, and look at this glitter. Tiara from Luna Faye sent this one through to me. It's from Eco Glimmer and it is stunning. She's been using these on her videos, and I can tell you the camera does it absolutely no justice. It is absolutely beautiful. I was actually on Etsy yesterday or last night my time now, and having a look at the glitters that she does, and she does ship internationally, so I am thinking about actually ordering some of these for myself as well, because they are beautiful. They are all eco glitters, and so they are fine to use on the soaps. And all I'm going to do, this one just seemed to fit perfectly. If I do that, I'm going to end up with a whole heap of splodge, I think. So let's just use the paddle pop stick. And first thing I'm going to do, because this one just fits the autumn colors really well, this is called Flickering Flame, and it's just got those real autumnal colors through it. So we're going to put just a little bit on to start with. I can see my mold is starting to come away from the edge of the wood again, so I'm going to need to put that on. I'm starting to get really frustrated with these molds now. They are a few years old, and with constant use the silicone liners have started to stretch because they're so thin. And I've kind of got to, I actually did a wedding order, and the mold ended up collapsing overnight after I put my soaps to bed, and I ended up losing about half of the soaps out of the order, so I had to redo it. So that was that. I decided I was going to treat myself to some soap molds from off Nurture Soap. I finally got to order the 5-pound ones this week, so I'm looking forward to getting those, and then we can they're actually the same size as this, but I do get one extra bar out of them as well, so really excited to be getting those coming in, and hopefully we won't have this issue of my silicone liner constantly falling in. But anyhow, that glitter is looking beautiful, and now all I'm going to do is sprinkle, well, I say sprinkle, but they're plopping on, sprinkle some of these autumn leaves on here. Now I created these with a lot of patience. What I've done is I have the leaf extruder set from iDream in soap. I'll leave a link down below, and she has this gorgeous little leaf in the set here. So I extruded using my Fimo professional extruder tool. I extruded some sort of canes of leaf, and then I left those canes to dry for a couple of days, and then I got a little knife and I just carefully went along trimming all these little leaves from off of those soap canes to create all these tiny leaves here. I'm actually going to take my gloves off now because I'm starting to get them stuck in the soap, and it's so hot as well. They're just so uncomfortable when it's this hot. So that was how I actually created all my little leaves, and really pleased with how they have come up. And the idea is I've got all tussar silk in here. I was taking photos and had tussar silk in with them, so I've got little strands of that sitting all in my soapy leaves. But the idea is I wanted the top of this to look like it had all those leaves that are swirling around inside the soap sitting on the top here. So this little soap cane worked perfectly. Alright, so just finished off with just a little bit more of that beautiful eco glitter, and there it is. That is the top of the soap. I'm going to leave it just like that. I think there's just enough leaves on there to make it look swirly and hasn't gone too over the top. So I'm going to leave it sit here for about 24 hours, and we'll be back in just a moment. We'll cut it open and see what we've got on the inside. I am back to cut into autumn leaves, and I'm so excited to see what this one looks like on the inside. I was so devastated though. I was unmolding this, and because it's just been so hot and humid, all the sort of moisture in the air, my gloves slipped on the silicone liner and it dropped, and of course it fell flat down on top of the mold. So I have got a bit of a dint line in there, but it's not too bad. But let's get this one cut open and see what it looks like on the inside. This fragrance has really changed again as well. I'm still getting that apple smell, but I'm getting a lot of that cinnamon come out of it now as well. And I hate the smell of cinnamon. It makes me feel so sick. I've cut it so I am cutting a little bit off at the end just to give that first bar a nice look. We're through, so let's take a look. Alright, so let's grab this one from off the end. I am in love with this glitter. Look at it. So pretty. And that's the inside. How gorgeous is that swirl in that embed? Probably I shouldn't have done the swirl in the blue as well, because it kind of does detract from the swirl in the middle. But I am really, really, really happy with how that's come together. It really does have that autumn look. That sort of darker blue that Klein Blue has given this is that real autumn sky color. And that it's just, yep, looks like all leaves all swirling together. That is such a wonderful idea, Inès, to try that in the pot faux funnel pour inside the PVC mold. I love how that has come together. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's grab this next one here. Really, really like how that's come together. Very autumny. Lots of little leaves sitting on the top there. I know that this end's got a slightly different swirl pattern in it. Look at that. I really, really love how those swirls have come together in this soap. Really like that piece, just the real darkness of it there. Let's grab these next two off the ends. So there is the inside. So if anyone else wants to give it a go, have a go at doing that in the pot faux funnel pour inside a PVC mold and see what swirls you get out of it as well. Let's grab a couple more pieces from off here. So Inès, I will be sending you a bar of this once it has fully cured. I hope you do like how the design has come out and the idea of it looking like some autumn leaves. And oh, look in there. We've got some little curly whirly swirls. That is what I am trying to work out how to purposely actually create in soaps. Really, really pleased. We've even got a couple of little curly whirlies, if it's going to focus properly, down in this sort of end here. They're a little bit fine, so hard for the camera to actually really pick up, but there's definitely some of those gorgeous curly whirlies throughout this soap. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I made my autumn leaves soap. If you did, why not leave a thumbs up and any comments down below. And if you come and follow me over on the Instagram channel, you will see when these ones are available and live up on the website. Until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one, and I will see you then. Bye.